Assalamu alaikum everyone, this is Reham, and in this episode we're going to learn how to spawn a queue through code in Unity. So let's start. First, we are going to create a folder. Let's name it prefabs, and in the prefabs we're not going to do anything now, but we're going to do it. We're going to keep something in it named quad. What's a quad? Quad is a part of the square, so we can name it 1 by 8. So let's make it a prefab, delete it. Let's create a folder, name it scripts. After you have named scripts, then create a C# script, name it block underscore spawn. First, in the script, we're going to create some variables. So open it. It will take time to open. Okay, our script is opening and we can start coding now. So here in the comments, write variables, colon, and then let's create a public transform, sorry, game object, game object. Let's name it prefab. Prefab. Then get another game object, but this is not a game object. It will be a transform. Public transform. Let's make it an array. So, array, and then let's write name of the transform is cubic position. Cubic position, and then what we are going to do is we are going to get a material, public material, and let's name it mat. So now we can comment the material part because we're not working on it. So let's save it, come back to Unity. Okay, we are in Unity now. So it takes time to reload and check. So now let's create an empty game object. Let's name it spawner. Let's change its position to something like Z minus 10, and let's change its color to yellow. That's a spawner. Yes. So now let's create an empty game object. Let's name it plus x. Plus x. And let's make it to 0 here. And in the x direction, 5. Duplicate it. Name it minus x. And then its x position should be minus 0.5. And let's give it a color. What's the color of the x? Red. So let's give it a red color. Now let's create another game object. Let's name it plus y. So then we're going to change its y position to 0.5, then duplicate it, minus y, minus 0.5. And let's give it a color, green. And now it's time for z. So to make a z plus z, then at the z position or z position, 0.5. And now let's duplicate it, minus z, and it's minus 0.5. And let's change its colors to blue. So now in the spawner, let's add the script, and in it here we can see the prefab. So let's assign the prefab. This is our prefab. Here, let's create 6 the cubic positions. Let's add it. So plus x minus x plus y minus y plus z plus z minus z. So now what we are going to do is the transform that we get, we're going to do is that the cubic positions, we're first going to create a method named awake, swake, awake, and then let's give the brackets, and in it let's get cubic position 0 dot get component transform. So now let's duplicate this line of code 5 times. 2, 3, 5, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now let's start creating it. So in the instantiate method, what we are going to do is write in the instantiate method, we're going to write some code. So now you're wondering that what's instantiate method? Instantiate method is a method that helps you to spawn something. So let's write instantiate. In it, first it takes the object that we're going to duplicate or means spawn. So prefab, then we should give it a position. So cubic position 0. So now let's duplicate this line 5 times. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's good. So let's come back to Unity. Let's see. Okay, it's I forgot to add void, public void. Public void. Let's come back. Now it should have no errors. Yes. So now one more thing we need to do is we need to rotate this objects. Is this our X position types? Why? First, let me show you why. So let's hit the play button and let's see why we should rotate them. Here we can see our cube is not aligned correctly because it's all in the same position. So now what we're going to do is we're going to rotate it. So let's rotate it in the X. We're going to So in the x, we're going to, sorry, not in the x. For the plus x, we're going to rotate in the y position to something called plus 90. And for minus x, minus 90. For plus y, we are going to do, we're going to rotate it, but in the x. So 90. And for minus x, minus 90. For the z plus, we shouldn't do anything, but for the z minus, let's rotate it to something. For z minus, let's rotate it to something like minus 9, minus 180. And let's check it now. Hit the play button, and now let's check. Did we spawn our cube correctly? Let's check it. Oh, we did a mistake. We did mistake. Yes, so the z position and the x plus should be okay. So the position of this z z plus, which one is z plus? Okay, this one is z minus, and this one is z plus, and what is this one? Okay, so this one should have a minus 180, and z minus should have nothing. So z minus 0, then x plus should have minus 180 and 90. Okay, let's check it now. Is it working? It should work. I am not wrong. Okay, now let's check any problems. Okay, this should be minus 90. Yeah? Yes. So for x plus, this should be minus 90. So, friends, this is how we can spawn any object, not any object, a cube through code. And this is my method. You can use different methods. This is my method. Do I like this method. I spawn the cube like this. So friends, that's all for this video. Stay tuned, subscribe to my channel for more videos. So stay happy. Thank you.